When I think about why I became a veterinarian, I don't think about income. I think about my first out of hours emergency surgery as a new grad, a dog with a GDV that came in critical but walked out the next day. I think about stabilizing that dyspneic cat and congestive heart failure, and the 16-year-old terrier who presented for syncope and left with a pacemaker and went back to hiking with his family in Scotland. I even think about the first time I placed a catheter on my own and had that quiet moment of realization. Okay, I can do this. I went into this field because I loved veterinary medicine, the trust. That moment when you tell an owner their dog is going to be okay and you see the relief on their face. For a long time, that was enough. But somehow along the way, the work started to feel heavier. I wasn't just practicing medicine anymore. I was carrying full schedules that never really lightened, moving from one emotionally intense case to the next without much space in between, replaying conversations in my head long after the clinic lights were out. I still loved the animals. I was just tired. Not the kind of tired that sleep fixes, the kind that settles into your body and slowly becomes normal. The kind you don't talk about because everyone around you feels it too. I'm Dr. Hayley, and about a year ago, I found myself asking a question I now hear from vets all the time. How do I keep loving this career without letting it take everything else with it? I've practiced and studied in different parts of the world, and no matter where I was, the pattern looked the same. Brilliant, compassionate veterinarians working at full capacity, day after day. Very little recovery, very little margin to exhale. A pace that slowly teaches you how to ignore how tired you actually are. Not because you don't care, but because caring is the job. Here's the part that took me a long time to understand. Burnout isn't just about how much you work. It's about the feeling that you can't slow down. That everything depends on you continuing at the same pace, even when your body and mind are asking for something different. When that pressure exists, rest feels irresponsible, saying no feels selfish, and slowing down feels like failure. For a long time, I believed being a good vet meant being a busy vet. If I slowed down, I felt guilty. If I wasn't stretched, I felt like I wasn't doing enough. But I started noticing something. On the days I wasn't walking into the clinic already bracing, already thinking about the rest of the week, already doing that mental math of how much I had left in me, I was a better doctor. I listened more, I was more patient, the hard conversations felt easier to carry. That's when I realized the problem wasn't that I didn't love the work. The problem was my entire life depended on how much I could give this week. So I stopped thinking only about endurance, about how long I could keep pushing, and started thinking about support. Not working harder, not becoming tougher, just finding a way for my life to feel less dependent on my emotional output every single day. Like a lot of vets, I started by looking at the usual options, saving more, maxing out retirement accounts, doing everything right. And all of that made sense, but none of it changed how the work felt now. Everything still depended on me. My energy, my presence, my ability to keep going at the same pace. That's when it clicked. If burnout was the problem, the solution couldn't depend on me giving more. So I started paying attention to other avenues of income and investing, not flashy ones, not side hustles, just things that could exist quietly in the background without asking for my emotional energy during a clinic shift. That search is eventually what led me to ownership, not because I wanted a new identity, not because I wanted to be an investor, not because I wanted to leave medicine, but because it was the first option that didn't ask me to keep running just to stay in place. What surprised me was how quiet that shift was. There was no dramatic moment where everything changed, no instant relief, just a subtle difference in how the days felt. For the first time, my future didn't feel like it was resting entirely on how much I could give that week. Every shift didn't have to carry so much weight. I didn't walk into the clinic thinking about how many years I had left in me at this pace. I didn't feel that low-level pressure to just say yes to everything. And that changed how I showed up. I noticed it in the small moments. I wasn't rushing through appointments the same way. I stayed present in conversations that used to drain me. The hard cases still mattered deeply, but they didn't follow me home the way they used to. I could care without feeling like it was costing me everything. And that's when the real aha hit me. Burnout isn't just about workload, it's about pressure. And when you relieve the pressure, even just a little, that love for the work has room to come back. For a long time, I thought freedom meant stepping away, but that never sat right with me. I didn't want to leave veterinary medicine. I wanted to practice it without constantly feeling depleted. Ownership didn't pull me away from that work, it gave me space inside the work. Space to breathe, space to remember why I chose this profession in the first place. I'm still a veterinarian and I still care deeply about my patients and my clients. I still have hard days, but now those hard days don't feel like they threaten everything else. I'm practicing because I want to, not because I'm afraid of what happens if I can't keep going. That's what freedom means to me. Not walking away from veterinary medicine, but finally practicing it on my own terms. If you're a veterinarian watching this and quietly nodding along, feeling that familiar mix of love for the work and the exhaustion underneath it, I see you. I'm not here to turn you into a full-time investor. I'm certainly not. I'm here to help you build stability around your career so this profession doesn't have to take everything from you. If you want to hear more about how I did this and what that first step actually looked like, you can learn more about First Asset Academy by clicking the link in the description below. We can talk, we can map out options. I didn't change careers, I changed the pressure, and that's what made all the difference.